All right, we'll have to leave Devina at that because Neeraj Shah is ready with the entire management of Tech Mahindra. Remember, it came out with its results just a short while back. And let's go across to Neeraj for more perspective and details on this one.
Thank you. Well, that's right. Welcome to ET Now Earnings Call, and we are talking to the top management of Tech Mahindra. The numbers pretty much in line with estimates, but it is important to get the commentary from the top management as to how have they seen the quarter gone by, and what is the likelihood of good performance coming ahead as well. More importantly, what is the outlook with regards to pricing, clients, budgets, and a whole lot more. And we have Mr. Sanjay Kalra, Chief Executive Officer of the company, and Mr. Manoj Bhat, the Head Corporate Planning, joining us on the show. Many thanks, gentlemen, for joining in. Sanjay, as a CEO shepherding his company Q4 and probably FY11 as well, are you more relieved at end Q3 about the IT environment as compared to maybe Q2 or even say maybe 1 year before?
Compared to 1 year ago, perhaps visibility is better. Beginning to see CIOs starting to talk to us, beginning to have them say, yes, this is my budget, which sort of looks flattish compared to what it was last year, except last year they wouldn't talk about the budget. Now at least they're talking about it.
Sure.
So in that sense, yes, it's a change from what things were a year or more than a year ago.
A sense that we got when we've spoken to a lot of companies which have come out with the numbers is that, and I'll stick to the budget part because they've said that client budgets, there's no definitive voice coming in, but they've said that client budgets probably remain flattish to maybe a bit of a mild uptick coming in. For you as a company, is that a sense that even you have?
I don't disagree with what people have told you, but I think whether it is flattish or there's a mild uptick, irrespective of that, I think the need or the desire to go the offshore route is definitely higher. So even if the budgets are flattish, the offshore companies perhaps have a better possibility of winning business now and increase their business.
Sure, but just to come to that, I mean, would you say that for you as, and in your conversations with your customers or clients per se, are they saying that, or are you sensing that budgets would, for the next maybe 2 quarters, remain flattish?
Yeah, our sense is budgets would remain flattish because in the telecom industry, revenues, ARPUs are falling dramatically.
Sure.
So I don't expect revenues or investments to go up. They will try to get more outcome for their investments, and that's why I said offshore stands a better chance now than it perhaps did 2 years ago.
Manoj, how about pricing per se? And this is again a sense that we're getting that most people are saying that till the time we come out and say that hey, pricing is going to improve, that is something that is not going to happen. For the foreseeable future, pricing will remain flattish.
I think if you put it in perspective, really over the last say 3 or 4 quarters, what has happened is pricing has been under pressure for us and for the industry. But going forward, I think there's a difference. Marginal pockets, maybe there is some pricing pressure, but broadly the pricing pressure has reduced. So to answer your question, basically pricing increases, we're not really forecasting or budgeting for that right now. But clearly the pressure on pricing has dropped dramatically, and as the demand picks up, we hope that situation will improve further on in terms of the pricing.
But for the next 1 or 2 quarters, flattish?
I would say flattish.
Flattish. All right. Sanjay, about your top clients now, we've seen that the last 2 quarters there has been a bit of a downtick that has come in terms of contribution from BT for Tech Mahindra. Is it something that you're witnessing pressure from BT? I'm guessing that is indeed one of the cases, but also is it that the revenue from the non-BT clients is improving dramatically, and that is something that will be something that Tech Mahindra will pursue going ahead?
See, I have to understand, when you said contribution coming down from BT, are you implying contribution margins or are you revenue? Yes, revenue from BT is down as a percentage. I think from almost 50% it's down to 46% this quarter.
Yes.
Yet if I look at the BT revenue, it's sort of flat. Which clearly implies that my non-BT part has been growing much more rapidly. In fact, I think quarter on quarter my non-BT part, which is really because Europe's been flat, but the United States and the rest of the world has grown by almost 14-15% quarter on quarter.
Sure. So that's really the point, because a lot of people maybe say in the not so distant past were probably concerned that there is client concentration, there is geographic concentration, and that is something that is probably going down, whether it's a conscious effort or otherwise. But with regards to the non-BT clients, and we've seen a significant amount of deals that you guys have signed in the last 2 quarters, is that a conscious effort on your part as well?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't want BT as a business to go down. I want BT to continue growing. But then the intent is to make sure that parts of business we do in North America or Europe outside of BT or Asia Pacific or Middle East or India, I would like that to grow very rapidly. So I'm living in this dream when I'm shepherding the company, where BT revenue keeps growing, but the percentage of BT in my business keeps going down.
Will that happen?
Look, for the foreseeable future, if life is very relative, and for the last 3 or 4 quarters, the biggest worry in the industry, not just for Tech Mahindra but across the board, was will BT revenues for all vendors continue plummeting, because they really were.
Sure.
And my belief is that as far as BT is concerned, we have sort of stabilized now, because if you look at my last 3-4 quarters, I haven't been in that 70 million pounds range. I don't know how it is for other offshore vendors.
All right. Fair enough, so conscious effort. Now, just to get this out of the way, I was looking at the press release a little while back before you guys came in, and there is an amount of 968 crores which you've got as contract renegotiation, restructuring, you name it. Can you just elaborate a bit on that?
See, over a period, we had many different business units of BT that worked with us. There were different contracts with these different business units. The business of BT continued changing. A need came in for simplification, more harmonization. So if I look at the way the BT contracts stand today, across a few major contracts in BT, I look at a harmonized rate list, and this rate list is common across these contracts. It helps a lot, because there used to be a lot of confusion earlier.
Sure.
Second, there is a level of volume commitments as were envisaged in the contracts. And clearly the rate list is lower than what the rate list used to be. So the harmonized rate list, which is consistent, common across all lines of business in BT, is now a common rate list. And therefore, as a part of that restructuring, we have received a payment of about 126 million pounds from BT. And based on advice of auditors, we're going to recognize that, amortize that over a period of the contracts that are remaining, and recognize it as revenue quarter on quarter.
Fair enough. I'll quote something that you said in the last con call, and there was a question that was asked to you with regards to how Barcelona plus Strada, it's a combined number, but while these numbers would probably differ or maybe up and down, both of them combined as a number would remain constant. And you had said that you will have to think about it for a little while before being able to comment on it. This was last quarter. This quarter, would you be able to say that this number per se would remain constant? I mean, parts of it may vary, but broadly?
See, broadly, if you look at our business, we have Barcelona and Strada. They really are contracts in the area of delivering IT services, BPO services, and network services. And it is true that for these two, we have achieved an agreement where there's a committed volume of business that will come from these two contracts. The third contract, which was Andy's, is a system rationalization contract, so a different kind of business.
Sure.
And on that, while we've agreed to restructuring, the details of that are still being worked out.
All right. In fact, just before I come to the other questions on employees and also you had said that, yes, and you just confirmed it, that Andy's could be open for renegotiations, but even on that, you haven't taken a call, and it will be sometime in the future. What's the update?
We have taken a call. The restructuring payment that we have also includes restructuring we've done on Andy's. Like last quarter, I told you I'm working out the details on the other two contracts. This quarter, I suspect we'll be busy working the details out on this contract. There are a few details that are still to be worked out. Once that's done, I'll be happy to come back and share that.
All right, same forum. Next quarter, we talk about that. Manoj, in terms of hiring, a lot of people or a lot of companies are essentially keeping in a pool strength in order to, it's just known, but you guys are probably going a bit conservative in terms of hiring, though there has been a bit of a headcount addition primarily in the BPO segment. How would hiring pan out for, say, maybe Q4 or going ahead FY11?
So I think if you look at the hiring issue, I think first of all, total headcount addition has been about 4,000, maybe about 2,500 was BPO, and about 1,500 was IT. And in addition to that, I think from a campus recruits we had given offers, we are now renewing those. We're getting them back into the fold, which we had given those offers back in last year around Jan, and then the year before that. So we had